Mr. Smith, thank you for having me today. I look forward to our time together. Wanted to use this whiteboard to express a few ideas. One, work is changing. Companies have a number of concerns that they have to think about today. One of the biggest ones is we have a low unemployment rate, historically low. And that has caused a change in demographics, and it also means that there's a shortage of skilled workers. There is an understanding today in the workforce that the employee is number one. And part of the problem is they understand they're number one, and they understand that they have more leverage today in today's workforce than ever before. Companies don't have to worry just about employees and their demand. They also have to think about increasing regulatory scrutiny. The pile of papers it takes to just describe the regulations that are forced upon companies is completely overwhelming. You have rising labor costs. Every year you have to have compensation percentage increases to consider, but also healthcare costs rising and other services. Also, on top of that, you have rising material costs that may not affect you directly, but they do indirectly. Profitable companies that are successful, are the ones that have an understanding that it takes key employees, good employees, to manage the concerns that you may have. But it brings to question what is necessary for your business to stay competitive. Now, a number of companies like yours have been reactionary in the past and have sought shallow fixes for deeper issues. I too was in your shoes. I had a air conditioning system that was not working. I discovered that the fan motor had locked up. At that time, I didn't have the cash reserves necessary to fix it, so I called a repairman and asked, what can I do in the short term to fix this fan? And he said, hey, all you have to do is just put your hand in there, start the fan, away it goes. And I did that 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 times, but it caught up to me. One time I didn't get my hand out of the way, and now I didn't have a broken heater. I also had a nearly cut off finger. Off to the ER I went, stitches and services later. I had a much bigger bill than I started with. Many companies have sought shallow fixes to deeper problems and found themselves in an even deeper problem than before. Here's one thing. Those companies have often sought out pay to be the way to fix their issues. Whether it be through compensation, bonuses, higher wages, the thought is if we throw money at it, it's going to fix it. Now, 89% of companies, employers, feel that if they provide better pay, they believe that their employees will leave for better pay. But the reality is that if you survey those voluntary terminations, only 12% left for better pay. So if that is truly the case, then why are we so convinced that pay is the answer? Well, maybe it's perks. Now all of a sudden there's trends in the marketplace, flashy little trends like ping pong tables and beer on tap, or coffee bars, office pets, and I've even seen open floor plans to give a little bit of a feng shui feel to the office. Now, the problem with trends is that they often just fade away. And those perks that we rely so heavily upon don't get the results that we're looking for. And the real question is what is the implication of losing just one employee? Now, we see an immediate impact on morality and productivity, and it doesn't matter how much you have on tap that day, it's not going to combat low morale and a lack of productivity. Those are the real concerns. And in fact, turnover has a financial impact that we often don't give it credit, but statistics suggest that 33% of a lost employee's salary is needed to recover and replace that lost employee. All of that said, even with all the perks and pay, we still have 40% of our employees that are planning to be gone in 12 short months. So what do we have now? With the exception of pay and perks, which aren't working, what about technology? Surely technology is the answer to all these problems. I've seen company after company with a long list of software applications that they put their faith and resource into, and the reality is new technology does nothing without the right guidance and direction from what? The right people. So not only is it now more complicated for our new employees and existing employees to do their jobs with the new technology, but we've lost uniformity. We have all of these unrelated platforms and systems that have been patched together over time that don't communicate with each other and still don't get the retention and recruiting efforts that we want at the end of the day. So if pay and perks and technology are not the answer, what is? Well, ADP would suggest that everything starts with data. We are called automated data processing at the end of the day. But why are we so confident in our data? Well, consider this. ADP has the largest pool of payroll clients in the United States. This affords us the ability to pull real data in real time. And we believe that good strategies start with good data. In addition to the data, we also have a large portfolio of people that act as subject matter experts in practically every business operation you can consider. And expertise helps you translate this real-time data into tangible actions that lead to execution and real results. Being that compensation is your second largest expense as a company, you need to know, through the help of expertise and data, what is motivating your people, what is driving your company. At the end of the day, when you add these two together, it's going to equal knowledge. You combine expertise, data, and insight, it will give you the knowledge necessary to understand what strategies actually make sense for your company, your specific needs, your specific industry, and your specific issues. So now, with ADP's help, you can discover what the best combination of financial, incentive, and technology levers will actually lead to the recruiting, retention, and productivity results that you are seeking. And in the end, ADP simply wants to help position your company to be an employer of choice, attracting the top talent and to stay competitive now and in the future in the Kansas City area. And that's what I hope drives our conversation today.